Hello, Stefan from Rustiek here. Today I'm going to make an anvil stand. And there we go. On a more serious note though, I do need a stump for my anvil. It's just sitting on the ground at the moment and I can't really use it for forging. So I picked up this piece of English oak stump. It's a little bit too high, it's not level. So I'm going to cut a piece off, going to level it out, and then I'll mount my anvil to it so I can finally get back to forging again. The base of my anvil is 32 by 28 centimeters, and at the widest point this is 42, so and 30, so it's basically just barely going to fit on here. So I'll definitely have to anchor it down pretty well. Would have preferred a bit of a wider base, but when you're picking up something off the side of the road, you don't really have much of a choice. Let's get the bark off first so I can see what I'm dealing with. So my anvil is sitting at exactly 30 centimeters. So the rule of thumb, in this case the rule of knuckles, is to have the top of your anvil under your knuckles and the resting hand standing up straight. So that would be around about there for me. That plus 30 centimeters means the base of my anvil should be sitting around about there. I'm just going to start by routing off the top here and bring it down a little bit. Then I'll flip it over. As soon as this is level and square, I'll flip it over and then I'll start working down the side that's going to be the top. I think that's going to be the safest for me to not take down too much of my height, because I don't want my anvil to be too low. This is a neat pick that I'm adapting to my own needs that I saw on Essential Craftsman's channel when he was putting an anvil on a stump as well. So you use these boards to make a triangle that's level, and then use the chainsaw to cut it off. I don't have a chainsaw here, so I'm just going to do the same. Make boards that's leveled off and then flip my router table upside down and use that as a plane surface just to run it and plane off the top. Get that nice and square and level. Let's get to it. I'm going to take the base off my router table here and then use that as a straight edge to run it along these boards, and then that'll plane off the top here. So in the beginning I'm just going to run it about a couple of millimeters out, so I'll just shave it off, shave it off, shave it off until I get to these spots, and that will mean then I'll go about 1 or 2 millimeters. However, for the router bit is sticking out, just go below these plywood boards that I've got on here. I just need to jump in with a bit of a disclaimer here. At the moment you can't really see how messy my workshop is, but later in the video the absolute mess will become more evident. Now please excuse that. This is not too long after I moved into the house and everything was just chucked into the workshop, and don't worry, it's been moved around and my workshop is looking a lot more tidy these days. I had this little hand plane for a very long time, but I never use it because it's not in plane. So I'm just going to use it to rough out something. Okay, so I've got it fairly flat now. What I'm going to do, this is going to be the bottom, so I'm just going to dish out a little bit here so it doesn't wobble too much if the floor is not perfectly flat. And then I'll flip it over, drop it down a little bit on the top to get to the right height, and then I can lift up the anvil. These English oaks locally are quite prone to core rot, and because of all of these cracks in the center here that might have already set in, is a pretty old tree. I'm just going to pour some raw linseed oil into these cracks, let it seep in, and hopefully that will help this log to just keep for so much longer. It's only going to be in the shop, so I doubt that it will get too wet, but it's just a little bit of an extra precaution that I'm taking, and also just to get some oil into this tree. Using the knuckle rule, my ideal anvil height should be around about 78 centimeters. Minus my anvil, that's 30 centimeters, so 48 centimeters. We are at just under 60, so that's 12 centimeters too high, so I need to take about 12 centimeters off here. So that means I'm going to cut off about 11, and then I'll just use this planing jig that I used before to cut off the rest, that last centimeter, to get it up to the right height. I don't know where I would be in my life without masking tape. I had to use just about every tool at my disposal to get that disc off of there. I ended up just going with a circular saw, cutting off pieces as far as the blade would go in, and then hacking it off with the axe, and it was still a hell of a job. In the future, I don't think I'll attempt something like this without having a chainsaw with me. It will just make life a lot easier. Okay, I've got it almost to the right height now. It's taken me almost forever, but it's close to, well, it's at the point where I can put on my planing boards now, put my router back onto the table, and then just plane it out the same way I did the bottom. Let's get to it. So I need this at about 48 centimeters, and it's at 48 and a half, 47 on this side, 47, so 10 mil lower than it should be, not the end of the wall. So I'm just going to take the lowest point and put my boards in line with that, and then go level with that. Where's my other board? Okay, I think it's at the right height now. It's nice and flat-ish. I'm going to put a coat of oil on top, just wipe it down nice, and then I'm going to put the anvil on. And tomorrow I'll tie it down, and I can start hammering. finally in its place. Tomorrow I can just tie down the ends, give it a nice rub down with oil, and we will be good to go. I'm considering two different options here to tie it down. Option one would be to make an individual tie down for each of these feet, and that would mean I have to make 4. The other option, and that's the thing I think I'm going to go with, is to make just 2 that goes across the front and the back. And it just sits across here, ties down here or here, and then the same for the front as well. I think that's going to be a little bit quicker and easier, and then will help me to get going on other stuff a little bit sooner. For the metal bands, I'm using 3x25mm flat bar, just mild steel, and I'm screwing it into the log with 8mm by I think 100mm coach screws, and they seem to work pretty well in the wood. Ended up being a little bit lower than I initially planned, and that's because I measured it incorrectly. As I was reviewing these videos, I saw that I measured it from the top down and not from the bottom up. So obviously I was measuring from an unplaned and an unlevel surface, and I was basically just carrying that incorrect plane over to the top of my stump. So what I might do in the future is just put my stump on a couple of blocks, just 1 or 2 centimeters, and that's going to be high enough. It might actually be a good thing, because then I can easily adjust the height of my anvil as I need it. Another thing that I still need to add is just some metal hoops going around the stump, and that's just to keep it from splitting. The log isn't completely dry yet, and I think it might split even more. There's already a lot of cracks on the middle, and I think some of them might just end up growing over time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see some of the other work that I do, go check out Facebook and Instagram. Also subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. Cheers!